There's an old Zen proverb that says, it takes a wise man to learn from his mistakes, but an even wiser man to learn from others. And we couldn't agree more.
I have 3 children and a wife. Failure is not an option.
This is Business Live. Business Live. If you're a business owner, this is the podcast to listen to. You'll hear from business owners who've done it, their success stories, their failures, strategies, and advice. You'll learn real-world action items that will allow you to take your business to the next level. To the next level. Sponsored by WorkCompDude.com. Specializing in general liability, commercial property insurance, auto, and of course, workers' comp insurance. Find them at WorkCompDude.com or 844-975-2100. Now, let's get to the show. This is Business Live with Mike Norris.
In the words of Matthew McConaughey, all right. Hey, welcome to another edition of Business Live with Mike Norris. I'm excited today because we have John Goodwin, co-owner of Max Fitness in Baton Rouge. Welcome to the show, John.
Great. Glad to be here. Thank you, Mike.
Well, hey, just kind of so we can get started, kind of give everybody a 30-second pitch of kind of what your business does.
Okay. I own Max Fitness here in Baton Rouge. My sister and I are both partners. So we own and operate the health club here. Max Fitness opened November 15th, 2010. So when we moved to Baton Rouge, we knew we wanted to do a nice size health club. So we built out a 16,000 square foot club that has all the amenities a health club should have. You know, we have cardio equipment, we have free weights, we've got showers, locker rooms, personal training, group fitness classes, everything that you would need for a full fitness center. And, our thing is when you walk into Max Fitness, we want you to be greeted with a smile, hellos, goodbyes. And, we're in the customer service business, so we want to, preach happy, encouraging fitness. So, those 3 things that, we hear Chick-fil-A say all the time, when you meet somebody is smile, have eye contact, and speak with enthusiasm. So that's what, we try to do here at our club. And the way that we earn revenue here in this particular club is we sell membership. So our membership draft and then our personal training draft. So we're always trying to increase those 2 revenue streams by selling more personal training and more memberships.
Okay. Well, I know, like I said, our audience is business owners, and I think anybody that works out or is fitness oriented, the idea of a health club, starting one or some sort of partnership in one's come across all of our minds.
Right.
Let me just paint a word picture kind of where we're at right now for everybody. We're minutes away from LSU. We're in a very nice part of town off of Highland Road. He's in a strip mall, and like I said, his building in this his space is about 16,000 square feet. He's in front of probably the most expensive Mexican restaurant in the entire city.
Yeah,
it's nice. So
great food.
Yeah. So he is in he's picked a great location, and I think one of the things that as I travel around, I obviously I go to gyms to stay in shape. I lost a lot of weight, so it's always on the top of my mind. Is how clean and well kept your gym is compared to any other gym I've ever been to. You talk about pride of ownership. This man's got it. He is out there. I go to some that kind of got torn up this and scratch machine. No, this thing is he keeps it up. This is his pride and joy. Yeah. So it's awesome. Before we get started, tell us a little bit about your non-work life.
Okay, I would say that I'm high energy, excited business owner. I enjoy exercise and fitness. I also enjoy being outside. I have a bike that I ride outdoors at least 3 or 4 days a week. I also have a 15-year-old daughter, Madison, and she keeps me busy. We love spending time together. I've always been into healthy eating and living, so, that just helps me kind of stay energized and motivated so I can get all my work in.
And you and Madison just went on a vacation together.
We did. We just went to West Yellowstone.
Man, that sounds. Give me something that was fun about that or exciting.
Well, when we first got there, we didn't know what all kind of animals that we'd see, and I think it was like an hour and two into the trip that we had a bison walk right up to our car and walk right past us. So we got a good video of that.
So you weren't one of those people that got out and decided to pet it and then.
Right. No,
you weren't one of those that we're going to see on YouTube. Got it.
Yeah. We kept moving, but no, there's so much pretty wildlife out there, and there's so much to see. It was a great adventure. We rode side by sides, horses. We did all the tourist stuff.
That's a fun time to have with that bonding. Yeah,
right.
That's awesome. And I think that's the one thing that, as business owners, we all need to realize that the business is actually here to take care of us, not the other way around. And we get so wrapped into us taking care of the business, but the goal of the business is to take care of us so that we can do things with our children, go to these once in a lifetime vacations with her, enjoy them, because she's 15. You're getting there, Dad.
Yeah.
Well, walk us through kind of your career progression, kind of just up to the point where you started the gym.
Okay. Well, I started my career path started when I graduated college at Auburn in marketing in 2003.
We won't hold that against you.
Okay. So I went to work at a health club there in Auburn as a fitness consultant. Everybody starts off as a fitness consultant, and that's selling memberships, answering the phones, doing tours, prospecting outside the club to bring in more business. My dad's company at the time, American Club Systems, provided training and seminars there in Auburn and Columbus, Georgia, and that's where I learned the sales processes and then everything from management to health club operations. Fast forward a couple of more years later, I was promoted to assistant manager. And then a few years later, I moved over to Columbus, Georgia, and that's where I helped out and learned how to do a pre-sale. And a pre-sale is just where you sell memberships before a health club opens.
Oh, yeah. That sounds tough.
Yeah, it's a long days. So that way when you do open the club, you've got 2,000 plus members generating revenue.
Immediately. Okay, I don't think any of us realize that that's possible that aren't in the business. So let's back up a second here.
Yeah.
So you have a service-based business.
Mm-hmm.
And this was your dad's company, was a promotion company for?
They did consulting and health club, build out and everything.
Okay, so a company so if I wanted to open up a health club, and I would actually contact somebody like your dad's company prior to opening it up.
Sure.
And they would
They can do it all.
They walk us through how to do it, set it up.
That's it.
And then they are the ones that then...
They can also hire managers to come in and run and operate your club, all that.
Okay, and then they're the ones that kind of got set up in the pre-sale.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you pre-sale a club? Like, how does that work?
So wherever you're going to build the new location, wherever you're going to do a build out, you want to have an office that's very close to that, across the street, whether you have to rent a small trailer or there's a small office space that you can, have some power and be able to, set up to pre-sale membership. So you'll have, a few TVs in there that are going to show what the club's going to look like, what kind of equipment it's going to have. So you're selling the dream.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
it's kind of a rate reservation. So you're not taking any money then. What you do is it's a rate reservation. So what you do is you get their billing information, what membership they want to do. And then when the club opens, that's when you start the drafting.
Okay. I think a lot of people are going to find that interesting. Cause, it's kind of like the only thing I can relate to that I can think off the top of my head is before a bank opens up, they put a trailer out.
Yeah. Try to earn some business.
And earn business that way. I've seen that happen a lot before a major bank opens a location.
Right.
This type of thing. That is really interesting.
Because that's what we did down here in Baton Rouge. Before we opened here in 2010, we started a pre-sale maybe 4 to 6 months earlier. Previous.
4 to 6 months earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So did you already have this spot picked out?
Yes. Matter of fact, they were doing the build out here, and then we were leasing the office right next door there to do our pre-sale.
Okay. And then you just had signs and...
Yeah, had all that, signs.
I mean, is that what brought people in, or how did people come in?
We did, we were advertising, we were doing billboards that we'd started our pre-sale. We also did direct mail, and then we did a little, I think we did a little TV, radio.
Okay.
So
So that helps you get closer to meeting that break-even point.
That's it. So that way, when you open the club, you've got revenue coming in.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just all there is to it. That's a neat.
Right.
That's a good one. So you did that. So walk us through kind of, you were doing that, and then how did you wind up here?
Did that. So I learned how to do the pre-sale there in Columbus, Georgia, and then prior to that, I was kind of going back and forth between Auburn and Columbus, learning management and operations. And then my sister and I got together and said, hey, we want to do a club together. Okay. So that's when we met with my dad and we, started looking for locations.
And what did your dad say when you said, I want to go into the family business?
He was excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
It goes one of two ways.
Right. No, he was excited. So, I've always, been in the health and fitness lifestyle, so it just kind of worked out. It's fun, it's a great business. You're talking to people each day, people that want to better themselves, get in better shape, feel better, look better. So it was a good fit for me. And then so we got down here in 2010. We've been in business for 12 years now. Right. Like I said, I can't really see myself doing anything else.
Yeah, no. And so so walk us back through just kind of, we went through how you started the business and kind of what was the light bulb that went off that said, I'm tired, I'm not going to work for anybody else anymore. It's time to be my own boss.
I think in 2008, when my sister used to work for Pfizer, at the time, when she got laid off, and that's when me and her, started talking more, about, hey, what do you want to do? Hey, John, what do you want to do? And then, let's do a club. So it's kind of
you'll have the inside knowledge more than, especially with your dad there. That was like gold mine.
Right, and he knew the business and he could help us get started. And then my sister was she's real good at HR and bookkeeping and payroll and all that stuff, and I do our sales and marketing. So we just kind of divide and conquer.
I think what's really neat about that, first of all, the nice part is it was family, so you have that trust bond there.
Right.
But what's interesting is because people talk to me all the time, hey, I'm thinking about this partner, what do you think? And my question that I always bring to them is, what do they do you don't? Mm-hmm. Because, you didn't need another outgoing, personality. You were it. As far as ownership, you need it for employees, but ownership, that was covered. You needed probably, I assume, that more analytical type of person, which is definitely her. Your sister's great.
And she's got an HR degree too, so she knows all those processes. And terminology.
Right, all the fun stuff with employee issues that come up with that, and regulations and all that stuff. So anyway, I just thought that's interesting that you two were. You have to have that trust level with any partner. Right. I think the neat thing is that most people I see, they try to get somebody similar to them, and you just happen to be complete polar opposites on business skills.
Right.
So which is awesome.
Right. And we work well together. A lot of people come in and say, "Man, I couldn't work with my sister. I couldn't work with my brother." But no, we get along well, and again, we work well together.
Yeah. No. So, well, what was the most surprising challenge when you started? Or
I would say one of the most surprising things that I was shocked by when I actually opened up this club and when we started looking at the numbers was the monies involved, the cost involved to operate a business. Everything from different taxes and payroll taxes and just all the daily expenses that it costs to run a business are enormous. And people need to, realize that, anticipate that, and see that, because a lot of people go into business and they don't understand all the cost involved.
Oh, yeah.
And then they get into something that's a little bit over their head.
And what people don't realize is even in the service industry, because, I've got an commercial insurance agency, is our overhead is much higher than I think anybody realizes with all the back-end operational stuff, not just software, but just everything we need
to operate. Yeah.
And then plus, like everybody listening, the only difference between myself, and everybody else is we just have a different widget. But the back end, it's very similar.
Yeah.
And it's not cheap.
Right.
So yeah,
and those costs are getting higher. As you do business, everything's gone up in today's world. So
no, it's crazy. So with that, how do you manage? How do you manage cash flow? Because this is the hardest thing to do, I think, as a business owner.
It is. Defense wins football games. So defense in this business is keeping your expenses down. The good thing is that I enjoy fixing things.
You do. I've seen it. I've seen it. You're out there with you change your own light bulbs on.
Oh yeah, we rented a scissor lift and got up there and fixed those light bulbs. But having that, I'm kind of a handyman. Also, I have a 16,000 square foot building that I have the opportunity to fix things daily.
And I think I'm going to stop you because I think I just happen to know this. Part of that is it's also a triple net lease. Is that correct? Like you're responsible for pretty much everything from you're not responsible for the brick or the roof, but pretty much wiring, plumbing on in.
Lights.
It's all you.
That's it.
Plumbing, floors, according to your lease, you have to fix it all.
Right.
So that's kind of part of it too.
It's a big responsibility, but again, if you can work on those things daily, and if you see something come up, but I can't fix it. We've got people, we've got a plumber, we got an electrician, we've got different people we can call on to get things done and fixed, quickly. Mm-hmm. As far as the cash flow goes too, we collect enrollment fees on memberships.
Right.
So if we needed a little more cash, we'll up the enrollment fees, and then we also sell paid in full memberships. We'll push those a little bit more too if we need some cash.
Because that's not. So I assume that somebody comes in, they sign up, for whatever it costs a month, and then there's an enrollment fee on top of that. So the sign-up fee goes to something like a finance company, the enrollment fee goes straight to you, and then the monthly dues, whether it's $20 or $30, whatever it happens to be, that then I assume is done through another company.
Our software actually collects all the dues, and then we pay our software fees out of that. But
so you're collecting it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not going through a third vendor for that. It's all actually coming through you.
Right.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So and then that is everybody's going to want to know how that works.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's super interesting. So because a lot of times I know in other companies, other industries, it all goes to a finance company. So I was wondering if it worked that way for y'all.
Right.
So walk me through, speaking of keeping expenses low, so how do you not chase the shiny object syndrome? What's your check and balance on
What's good is my sister and I can, we get together and talk about different things, whether it's a new toy we want to add in here, whether it's a new piece of equipment or, we'll talk about the cost involved and see if it's something that the members will use, because there's so many things out there, like you say, the new shiny new object. They're coming out with all kind of new stuff every day, whether it's equipment that you can scan with your phone or with a watch, and it'll tell you what your exercise needs to be based on the reps and sets that you set up beforehand. And then these equipment vendors will come out with a new piece of equipment. It may look good, but it may not be functional, or it may not be a piece of equipment that people actually use. Mm-hmm. So what we'll do also is we'll go to a health club. If something's new, it's come out, we'll find out where that piece of equipment is.
Right.
And I'll drive over to that gym or fitness center and get on it, see how they like it, talk to the manager, talk to the staff there, see how the members like it. Because the vendor on the phone, they'll say, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah. So it's going to bring X number of dollars in. Return on investment is going to be amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then also what's great is LSU down the road, they've got a lot of great equipment, and they get a lot of the new stuff in there. Mm-hmm. So I'll go down there and try some of the equipment there at the LSU Rec Center and get their, opinion on some of the equipment too.
So it sounds like you pretty much are probably a lot of them have a good relationship with your competitors.
Right.
And I think that's one thing that I always tell everybody. I'm like, hey, look, I'm in the insurance business, but honestly, most of people I know we're friendly. We talk. We've learned that we work better. We're better together.
Right.
Type of thing. Just running ideas off. So it sounds like you've kind of established the same thing.
Yeah, we know some of the other competitors in the area. We'll talk to them and see. And then we're also talking to other health clubs in different cities and seeing what's working well for them. So you got to communicate with, different people all the time to see what's working, what's not, that type of thing.
Well, kind of what from a from a risk or liability standpoint, kind of, what keeps you up at night with your business?
That's funny because, everything can keep you up at night with your business, whether it's payroll or hiring new staff and, you got different bills that are due, but you just have to learn how to manage the stress. We're in a people business, a customer service business, so we talk to many people every day. Mm-hmm. And I try to exercise well, so I sleep at night.
Yeah, and I think that's actually, we happen to be talking to you who owns a gym, but I tell people also ask me about when they're starting a business or maybe you're in the middle of it. And my first words of advice are always take care of yourself first.
That's right.
You take care of yourself, and it sounds counterintuitive, but you take care of yourself first and your business gets better.
That's it.
And so anyway, you just talked about taking care of yourself to make your business better. And I don't think anybody really understands that until they do it.
Right. So. We were really fortunate that we enjoy exercise. And then, another thing, you just do it. Like Nike says, just do it.
That's
just
it.
Do it.
Just take time out and do
That's it. You got to make time.
Yeah.
You don't have time for anything. You have to make time for things that are important to you. And, exercise, nutrition, all that stuff's important to me. So I make the time.
Yeah, you got to find the time in your day. I do it during lunch.
Yeah.
I could go to I found myself, like I said, I lost about 80 pounds around COVID. Yes. And I just found myself one day, I was like, what am I doing during lunch? Well, I'm going to just the Mexican joint we were just talking about.
Right.
I've been there,
yes.
Or I'm going to whatever. And, at Lupe Tortilla Factory in Houston.
Yes.
Or there's a few other places in Houston that are not good for me.
Right.
And I'm sitting there going, why am I spending X number of dollars during in an hour when it's not really productive? Now,
right.
I love queso, so that, but
right.
Yeah. But then, so I think just something flipped, and I said, I'm going to take care of myself, and I know that I'm wasting an hour a day. So that's when I started doing it.
And I've started doing some of my, it's a great way to cut up your day too,
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it helps.
It will work out in midday.
All right, so I know everybody's going to want to know this question. How do you grow your business?
How do you grow your business?
How do you grow your business? Everybody wants to know that.
Yeah, so there's 3 S's in the health club business, and those have not changed, and that is sales, service, and sanitation. You got to have sales so you can grow your business. You got to have service so people continue coming back, and you got to have a clean club, so it keeps your members theirs. But the important thing is stay in business and be in business for long term. We have systems in place to help us stay on track.
So walk us through that.
So we have a monthly sales goal.
Okay.
That
we
need
a KPI.
Yep. And then we also have a cash goal that we need to meet each month.
Okay.
And then we also look at how many people went off the draft, how many cancellations we had. So then, that kind of helps us, determine how many we need to do the next month and so forth and so on. And then we have that across the board on our personal training revenue as well. We have a sales goal and a cash goal.
So how are you tracking these? Like, is there
our software? It can
that's geared towards health clubs.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you put the goal in.
We put the goal in, and we put what kind of memberships that we want to do. How many 1995s we need to do this month? How many 29s we need to do? And then how many family memberships? And then what our cash goal would be. How many paid in full memberships we need to get that month as well.
Okay, and then will you change your marketing towards that goal?
We actually market a little different depending on the time of year.
Okay.
We really market hard August, September, October, when all the kids are coming back, and we do a lot of marketing in January, February, March, the first part of the year.
Okay.
And then we'll do, different, but in between those other months, we'll do the same old, your Facebook, advertising, and then we'll do some Instagram and stuff like that. But we spend a lot more money during those 2 times. We have those 2 peak seasons that we spend a little bit more money on our advertising and marketing.
Okay.
And so we have a guy that helps us with that as well. He helps us with our website and our online presence. And he does that for other health clubs.
Okay.
So, he can help us set all that up. We talk to him on the phone every month.
Yeah. So he's doing. So obviously, there's a Facebook, Instagram. So I assume that's probably gearing more towards your mid-ish, younger college.
Right.
That's pulling that in. So is that?
And everybody's looking at Facebook now. It's across the board.
Yeah.
So we get, and Facebook advertising is really cheap comparatively.
Especially when you stay regionally or so local.
Right.
Yeah.
And our thing is, in the health club business, you're pulling from a 2 to 5 mile radius. So it's got to be close to their home or work.
Right.
Or they're going to choose another fitness center. It's
Okay.
got to be convenient.
So when you set this up, I assume you took in population density into account. I mean, you definitely are in a nice part of town.
Right.
That was a no-brainer, And so you're doing the Facebook, and then are you doing any mailing or kind of what else are you
We're not doing any direct mail. We haven't done any direct mail, I'd say, in the past 12 months.
Okay.
But we may try a little bit here soon because they're getting better with the direct mail. They can really pinpoint a neighborhood and different areas.
Yeah.
So, we're looking at that right now as well.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've got signs out front and flags and all that stuff.
That's it. You want to have some road signage. Wherever your location is, you want to have stuff out by the road and be very close with the businesses that you're in the shopping center with. Because those people are visiting all those businesses, and you want to have a good relationship with all your neighbors.
Yeah.
So.
That's really interesting. So anything that kind of differentiates you in your approach compared to the other companies or other gyms in the area?
Yeah, I would say, there's been a lot of health clubs built since we opened here. They've put in a Crunch Fitness, and they put in 3 or 4 Planet Fitnesses and LA Fitness. And so there's a lot more competition around us. But, me and my sister try to take a small business approach. What's best for the member and the company, Max Fitness. What's going to be best in the long term. So that way, if there's something that we need to add or we need to change, we can make those changes in house, and we can get them done much faster. So we'll talk about those adjustments, and then meet and decide on something and move forward with it.
Yeah. So the big guys have come to town.
Right.
Your LAs, all these other guys, they're in town. The Planets, all that stuff.
Right.
So they're here. So they're trying to eat up your market share.
That's it.
And so, but it sounds like just realizing what you do well in your area that you do well and concentrating on that, you've been able to fend them off. And in fact, they're not anywhere near you. I mean, they're near you. They're close.
Right.
But you're able to kind of keep this, would you say, 6 mile radius?
It's a 5
mile radius.
From like 2 to 5 at the most.
Yeah.
Right around the club.
Mm-hmm. So you've been able to keep your territory and kind of keep them. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's kind of one thing is just because the big guys come in town doesn't mean that you're going under.
Right.
Or it doesn't mean they're going to, they might take a little bit, but if you do what you're supposed to do and do it well, execute.
That's right.
I think that's a great approach. I'm glad y'all thought of that. Walk us through kind of your growth projection. I mean, I know you talked about pre-sales.
Yeah.
Walk us through what's...
So we've been in business now for 12 years. We've had, like all other small businesses, we've had our ups and downs with respect to memberships, sales, and personal training revenue. Right now, we're growing our membership draft and our personal training draft. So we're really hitting on all cylinders right now. We're really excited about, the systems we have in place now, because they're working. Everything that we're doing right now is working, and you just we're going to keep doing that. We work all of our members for referrals. We work every new member that we enroll, we give them the opportunity to get a free T-shirt when they leave us referrals, and then we work the referrals they leave us, and then we also text that new member a 1-day pass to share with any friends to come inside the club, because that's our number one avenue is buddy referrals.
Really?
Friends telling friends
more
about
than your
the club.
Facebook, more than your
Yes.
Signs out front. It's actually friends telling friends.
Friends telling friends about the club. They hear about the club from a friend. And, that's why we'll have different buddy referral prizes and programs, giveaways. Just a couple months ago, we gave away a couple of Apple Watches and an Android watch.
Okay. So I think that's interesting that you've got everybody says that, okay, especially in service, but regardless, everybody works off of referrals.
Right.
I obviously do too. And so I think what's interesting, what you just said, that the reason I'm stopping at this point, is that you actually have a system in place to work those referrals.
Right.
Well, most people... a friend of mine owns a very, very large HVAC company doing ACs and all that stuff.
Right.
And he'll tell me, I had a conversation with him, and he said, I get a lot of referrals. I'm like, well, what do you do to work your referrals? well, I don't really do anything. I was like, well, imagine if you had a system in place to work the referrals you got to get more referrals. What would your company look like? He goes, I don't know if I can handle the business. He goes, that'd be a good problem to have.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think it's really neat. I think if you're a service-based business, especially, but really any business, if you're selling, it doesn't matter, from building material all the way down to cupcakes. I think that referral is really
and there's no
system.
In any business, there's no one magic bullet. You've got to work your referrals. You've got to work your leads you get from online on your website. You've got to ask members when they're working out if they've got a friend they want to refer. You got to continue doing all your advertising online, your Facebook, different things. There's no one magic bullet, meaning you've got to do all those things to make it work.
Right. Yeah, spinning the plates is what I call it.
Yes.
I've got 3 different plates on marketing that I'm always spinning.
Yeah.
It's interesting. What changes are coming down the industry for you, or what are coming down the road for your industry?
So what we look for competition and maybe different trends. We look at what other clubs are doing and what's worked well and what hasn't. And then the trends that come up, that you'll see, and you don't want to focus on some that may not be something lasting. You don't want to put your energy and time into that. So you got to be talking to people about business, different things. Like when we first got in the health club business, a lot of members used, machines and selectorized equipment. Now they're moving away from that more into the free weight, functional training. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where we've added a few more different pieces of equipment in our free weight room, and we're thinking about also adding a functional area out here inside the club and put a little piece of turf down and getting rid of, a few of the machines to make room for that. So, and there's always going to be, different trends. Now you're seeing a lot of boutique gyms come out, the Orange Theories and the F45s and all that. So that'll take a little bit of your business.
Well, actually, I'm going to back up because I want to go back to one of the questions
Sure.
I wanted to expand upon, because that's a great segue into it, because you got the Orange Theories and all that stuff, and we've all seen the commercials on what they're offering. So, and on, you said you're beefing up your personal training. So obviously that's a cross sell. They're coming in to join the gym.
That's it.
But I assume that how many people actually come in and say, hey, I'm going to join your gym, but I really want personal training, versus how many come in and say, hey, I want to join your gym, and then you're cross-selling the personal training. Walk us through the cross-sell.
So what we do is we provide every new member that we enroll with a free personal training session and fitness evaluation. We offer that to all the new members. And during that visit with our personal trainer here, he will take them through a workout, talk about nutrition, talk about their fitness goals, and then try to close them on a personal training package.
Okay. So it's his job. So you basically make the intro to him.
That's it.
Hey, thank you for joining. Here's this. Part of this is, we want to make sure you get started correctly and, get you going to maximize your goals.
Yeah, it'll make your
We'd
visit.
like for you to spend an hour with
Cole, yes.
With Cole or whoever it happens to be at the time, or who's available. And then it's his job then to sell his service.
That's it.
In a cross-sell.
Yeah, it's his job to close that appointment.
Yeah.
On personal training. And that's what we're, focusing on right now. Our membership draft is growing, and we're trying to grow our personal training draft. We've got a good person, in charge of our personal training right now, so we feel comfortable in where we're going.
Yeah. That's. I was just curious how the cross-sell, because cross-selling your products is always the most important. Like once you get them in the door, all right, that's the hardest part.
Right.
Like it's easier to cross-sell a current customer than it is to get a new one.
That's it. And what I tell people when they come in to work out or anything, the hardest part's coming through that door.
Yeah, that is.
The hardest part's coming through that door.
Well, what would you tell somebody wanting to open up their own business?
Telling somebody to open up their own business, they would need a lot of paper and a pen. But no, I'm joking. They would, number one, you need to treat it like a business, and then have
a hobby.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And have mentors. Have goals, have a long-term plan, and then have people around you that you trust and that can help you when, different questions come up along the way. And then you want to make sure that those people around you have had success in the business that you're getting into. You
I
want
would
to make
say
sure
that's super important.
have those people around you that, that have had success in that business. Not people that just want to give you their opinion or tell you how this, or had a friend that you want to talk to people that know what they're doing and have done it before,
That is so important, because I know I've chased the shiny object syndrome, and before, and in fact there's a conference coming out that kind of piqued my interest, and then I started looking at the speaker list. Well, I happen to know a lot of these guys, like of them, or talked to them or something. And what's interesting is there's 7 speakers for this conference, and it's not an expensive conference, but it's not cheap by the time you get there, type of thing. And easy 4 of them have been in business in under 5 years. And I'm sitting there looking at it going, 2 of them, one guy had to get out of his business, sold it to somebody else, type of thing. And I'm like, wait, I'm going to pay what? And you're going to tell me how to be successful? And 4 of you guys have only had your own company for under 5 years. So I think that's interesting that you say that find people that have done it and been successful at it for, I would say, easy over 5 years, not going on 10 if you're going to give me advice, would be my thought. I don't know what you think.
Right. No, I feel the same way. And then, that old term, location. That's always going to be important for any type of business, especially if you're, needing to be in a location to drum up business. So that's a big, and my dad, when he picks out health club locations, he, one of the things that he always told me and my sister is that you want to pick a health club location where you would feel comfortable of your 16-year-old daughter getting out of her car at night to go into the fitness center.
That is great advice.
So
because my first office I ever had when I first opened up was not that way.
Yeah,
it was
right.
Now it is, but but my first one was a little sketchy at night. Let's just say I had a little help with me if I was working late that night.
Yeah.
So hey, thanks so much. Glad to get your name out there, and everybody listening that's in the Baton Rouge area, definitely check this place out. Recommend them. It's a great health club. I think probably one of the best one in town. Personal opinion there.
I'd have to say too, Mike.
You agree with that too?
I do.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you do. And so when somebody walks in your business, what do you want them to know about your company?
I want to make sure that each person that comes in here is greeted with a smile. Hellos and goodbyes are a must. We work hard around here to make sure all our equipment is working. And then people remember when a business is nice to you and when the business is clean. Those 2 things are very important, because people are, want to be a part of a clean business. And we're a health club, so, we want to make sure that the business is clean.
Yeah.
And everything works, and people are nice.
I love that. So you're building, I'm going to summarize this. One of the things you want when people walk in is you want them to know the culture.
Yes.
Because there's other gyms that are A, intimidating, or B, maybe everybody's not overly friendly.
Right.
And you've done a good job of using your personality to create that culture.
Right.
So
we want to be, preach that happy, encouraging fitness.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome. Well, hey, John, thanks so much for coming on board.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it. And this has been awesome. So thanks again.
You've been listening to Business Live with Mike Norris. For business owners, by business owners. It's important to share success stories, strategies, and advice. We should all succeed. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. Business Live is sponsored by WorkCompDude.com, specializing in general liability, commercial property insurance, auto, and of course, workers' comp insurance. Find them at WorkCompDude.com or 844-975-2100. See you next time on Business Live.